Hey, what's up guys? I'm the Big Cheese, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at all of the enemies that you can encounter in the current Destiny beta. Also, just so you know, these are all of the enemies that I have personally found. If I left one out or if I missed one, please let me know in the comments. I'm pretty sure I got them all, but like I said, I may have missed one. But anyways, let's get started. First enemy that you'll probably encounter is the Fallen Shank. It's kind of like this weird little helicopter robot looking thing. Really easy, they're really not that big of a threat. They fire really slowly, really inaccurately, and they go down pretty easily. Next on our list is the Fallen Vandal. They're kind of like the mid-level enemies. They fire homing projectiles. They're still pretty easy to dodge, you can see right here in this clip. They have a decent amount of health, but if you just get a few headshots on them, they tend to go down pretty quick. If you get too close to them, they'll try to punch you. Other than that, they're still not too big of a threat as long as you don't encounter too many of them at a time. Up next, we have the Fallen Dreg. They're kind of like the cannon fodder of the Fallen. Really low health pools. They fire really slow, really inaccurately. Their main attack is to try and run up to you and smack you with their little knives. Occasionally you'll run into a dreg that has a shotgun. Those ones are a little more dangerous, but they're still not too big of a threat at all. They have really, like I said, they have really low health pools. Just pop them in the head 1 or 2 times is usually enough to drop them. Next, we'll take a look at the Fallen Servitor. He's this floating purple eyeball looking thing. His attack is that purple explosive bolt. It can be dangerous if he hits you with it, but a lot of the time he'll aim really inaccurately. Now, they got pretty high health pools, but their annoying side is they'll give extra health to nearby Fallen, so if you do ever encounter one, make sure to target it first. Next, we'll take a look at the Fallen Captain. These guys are kind of like the elite unit for the Fallen. They will give you a hard time if you're not prepared for them. If you're high level and they're low level, like right here, that's not an issue. But if you're around the same level, these captains can and will ruin your day if you're not ready. They like to teleport around after you've shot them a few times. That'll give them a chance to regenerate their shields. Honestly, my best tactic against them is just put him under constant fire. It's easy to tell which direction he's going to teleport in, so just follow him and keep him under fire. Now we'll look at the Hive Thrall. These guys are actually kind of a joke. They have super low health pools. The only thing they can do is run at you and claw at you. Honestly, just punch them. That's enough to kill them. If you get into a big group of them, just back up and shoot. Next is the Hive Acolyte. These guys are about as much of a threat as the Thralls. Super low health pools, just a few headshots will drop them. The only difference between these guys and the Thralls is these can shoot, although not very accurately and very weak. Next is the Hive Wizard. These guys can actually be a really large threat. You want to keep your distance from them because if you get too close, they'll release this cloud that not only drains your health while you're in it, but it'll also slow you down to almost a crawl pace. So if you get caught in that, it's almost a death sentence. So keep your distance, just peck at them whenever you can, but try and keep constant damage on them because they do have shields. Up next, we have the Hive Knight. These guys are literally walking tanks. They have massive health pools, and they have a really big cannon on their arm, which they fire very frequently and very accurately. You do want to keep your distance when fighting them, though, because if you get too close, they like to bum rush you and punch you, and that never goes well for you. If you damage them enough, they'll throw up this weird-looking shield. While they're behind it, they regenerate health slowly. You can always just walk around the shield, though. But out of all of the Hive units, these guys have probably got to be the toughest to fight. Now we'll take a look at all of the different kind of boss fights you can do in the beta right now. The first one you'll encounter is Rixus, the Devil Archon. He's just a giant fallen Vandal. It looks like, I wouldn't even call him a captain because he doesn't have a shield. All he really does is walk slowly towards you and fire a shotgun rather ineffectively at you. And I noticed that the lower you get his health, the closer to you he'll get. Other than that, I mean, you really can just sit in the back of this room and shoot at his head the whole time, and he drops pretty easily. Next is the Devil Walker. I'm not sure a lot of people would consider this an actual boss fight, but I figured he's too big and too powerful to really be considered a normal enemy. So, anyways, he is a terror to fight. If you don't come prepared to sit and shoot at this thing's legs for a good 20 to 30 minutes, you're going to be bored out of your mind or you're going to be dead. I mean, this thing has a humongous health pool. It's ridiculous. Shooting him in the legs, obviously those are his weak points. If you shoot the armored legs and you break the armor off, he'll go into that little down state and he'll open up his neck. Shooting that little red core in the center does a lot of damage. Usually, if you do that about 4 times and you have all 3 of your fire team shooting at the red core, you can down him in about 15 minutes. But if you have a fire team that doesn't know what they're doing, be prepared to either all be dead or just be fighting this thing for a good half hour straight. This Devil Walker does not mess around. The last boss fight you'll encounter in the beta is with Septic's Prime. He's basically a giant Servitor. He fights the same way, he has the same weak points, he's just really big and has about 20 times the health. He's really not too difficult of a fight as long as you can avoid his purple laser beams of doom, which he doesn't fire too accurately. They're not too dangerous to begin with. He does send waves of fallen after you every once in a while. The only things those really do is give you more ammo. Finally, we have the question mark enemies. At least that's what I've taken to calling them. I don't know if they have an official name. But they're just these invincible enemies that sit in the dark corners of the map that people normally don't go to. They just sit there, they're invincible. If you shoot them, it'll say immune. You're not doing any damage to them, and they just one-shot you. Now, one of the less commonly known question mark enemies is a Hive Shrieker. There is a Hive crashed spaceship, I guess what it is, off by the crashed shipyard, and there is this Hive Shrieker there. He's just a question mark enemy, but he's not found anywhere else. He fires these bursts of homing laser beams at you, and he can still just one-shot you.